Okay, so to start off with, I'm using talcum powder and conditioner as my bleach consistency. So I've mixed it up to the same type of consistency as normal bleach. Alright, so as we all know, conditioner is extra slippery, so this will be proof in the pudding on how good these techniques are. Okay, so my first tip for getting your foils to stay in the hair is to keep really fine and neat sections. So make sure everything is in nice straight lines. And then you want to make sure you're taking about 1/2 centimetre for each weave, okay? So the bigger the section you take, the less likely you're going to get it as close to that root as possible, okay? So really nice thin sections. Make sure your weave is nice and even. As you're weaving, if you weave closer to the root as well, it's a lot easier to get an even weave. Okay, so now that we are ready to put in our highlight, there's a couple of things that we need to consider. We need to make sure, to avoid them from slipping, that the weave isn't wider than my foil. So we're good, we're fine with that. And then we're going to want to wrap about 1 centimetre of the foil over the top of the comb. Now I see this with my students when they're learning. They go like this and trying to push up. You're never going to get very close to the root if you do not over direct this piece of hair. Stretch it all the way to the other side and then place in your foil. Okay, can you see the difference? Can you see how close we are now? Now for extra security you can leave that there if you like, that's fine. We're ready to apply our light now. So start off by applying your product mid-shaft, and then you're going to want to bring it up to the root, getting lighter handed as you do that. Turn to the side and just feather right up to the top. Just feather right up to the top. And then press quite firmly your brush down onto the foil. You can remove that now. Hold the foil into place, and then we can work on the ends of the hair. So if at this point their hair is really long and is coming right down past, you're just going to swirl it up. And what we're not going to want to do is lift this foil at all, okay? If you lift the foil, you're pulling it out from the root. So you're going to put your hand underneath as a backboard, and then you're going to just apply your product very gently. Okay. So once our product is in there, we're then going to want to just put our comb here to bend the foil. Bring one corner up to the other corner and press firmly, and then you can pull down the foil with the comb. Okay, so by holding the root, you're not allowing it to slide. You can then bend again. And then fold in your edges. Okay. So we're going to take a slice, 1/2 centimetre wide. You're then going to do a nice fine weave. Once you've got your nice fine weave, we're going to make sure that it is not any wider than my foil. I'm going to over direct and stretch the hair to the opposite side, placing my foil in directly at that root line, and then firmly bring the hair back down on top. My thumb is now pressing on the foil, holding it in place. Take my product, apply it mid-shaft, and then get lighter handed as I move towards the root and gently feather through. Now if you're really new to foiling, I wouldn't go up as far as the root. I would stay a couple of millimetres off that root line just to allow for any swelling of your product. That will avoid any bleeding. So apply your product down through, keep your hand firmly pressed on. So now that I've had to let go of the hair, I'm now going to switch my fingers to hold in the foil at the top and bringing that down through. Now if she had long hair, I'm going to place my hand underneath as a board. I'm not going to lift the foil because the foil, any lifting is going to slide it out, and I would swirl in her hair. But as that's not the case, well, it's a bit easier. Now, again, I'm not going to want to lift out this foil. That's going to cause slippage. So I'm going to be very gentle. I'm going to use my comb as a guide to where I need to bend. Press firmly on one corner and then firmly down on the other corner. And now I can wiggle my comb down through to secure it. Okay, so now that it's nice and secure, I can then go through and again use my comb as a guide to where to bend. By the way, if you're pushing your product out like this, it's going to make it explode, okay? So if you're used to your product and you know what it does, then that's fine. I'm quite used to working with bleach. If you're new, don't pack it down, okay? Leave it a little bit less tidy, but don't push all your product out in all directions. You're then just going to bend in your two corners and your foil should be nice and secure. So when you turn it over, these two foils should be evenly touching on the back. That will avoid from any bleeding. And you don't want to keep moving your foil too much. Okay, so just a quick recap. We're going to take nice, small, even, straight sections as we're weaving. We're going to hold near the root as we do our weave. We're going to over direct our weave to the other side so that we can apply our foil right at the root line, and then we can apply a lot of tension to hold the hair into place. I can leave my comb there for extra security if I like. I apply my product mid-shaft, get lighter handed as I come up towards the top, feathering the root line. If we're new, you're not going to go up that high at all. See, if my foil starts to slip, I can just push my comb straight back up so it gets nice and tight again. And then once I'm ready to move down through to the ends, I'm going to remove my comb, hold on to my foil on both corners, and apply the rest of my bleach quite gently on my product down through the ends. Now's the tricky bit. Gently let go. Never lift the foil up, just use your hand as a board underneath if you need to. Use the comb as a guide just to place your two ends together. Start on one side and then attach the other side. Hold that in place with your hand. Pull out your foil so it's nice and tight. Fold your foil gently in half again. If you're new, don't stretch it all out because that'll make the hair to bleed. Then you're just going to fold in your sides nice and tightly. Pinch down the top corner to stop any product from seeping. And voila, your foil's in there. You should be able to move it around without it slipping out.